Ooh, GrandMonster with the announcement he's only playing Odin, and JM loves his Norse Wars, so we're gonna get one of these rare things that don't really happen too much in Deathmatch. The meta gods are, for the most part, Atlantean right now, and you could say China is meta, but people don't really play it that much. Big thanks to Ippert, so this is a bit of a shout out for him for making this lovely user interface that you can find on Steam. Anyways, kicking into our first game here, we got GrandMonster playing as Odin in the blue over here. And on the other side, this is JM playing as 4. And I think for the next game, we're going to turn on the music. This one will go without, that's going to be fine. Okay, GrandMonster remembers how to play Modern Deathmatch. JM remembers how to play old school. Look at this spread. This is not something you see anymore. It's a very high risk play to send out all your Ulfsarks like that. Ooh, actually, GrandMonster went for Heimdall. Now that means that he's not gonna have access to Valkyries, which are required to kinda harass these Ulfsarks out on the map and prevent these side builds from getting too crazy. That is why these more turtly builds are actually good in DM, because you can just go out there and not let this happen. But if it does happen, that is powerful. Modern Deathmatch has went away from this because people got so good at microing. It looks like the god picks are otherwise pretty obvious here. We got Scotty for GrandMonster, but he's going for a fast 2DC build, which he's gonna complete no problem, it seems like. Excuse me, I had to answer some questions. Yeah, JM's build here is going really crazy. So he's basically starting to spam towers, temples, and hill forts all over the place. Actually, no hill forts. He's even more old school than I remembered. Okay. One of the downfalls of old school Norse also is that they relied so heavily on longhouses. So they would make Ulfsarks, throwing axemen, and a bunch of raiding cavalry, I suppose. GrandMonster already on 2TC, however, starting up his economy in both town centers, so that's going to be pretty advantageous. And he's also starting to make a triple hill fort, actually a quad hill fort, and this one is going to have ballistas. JM only now making his very first pair of hill forts. He's only going to have one completed here. He's got a bit of a ghost build to try to block out these units, trying to harass the TC, but so many towers here, I don't think this is going to work out. Especially if the Hersiers were to focus down that Frost Giant, which is like the only unit tanking the damage. Towers versus siege. This is not how usual Norse wars go, at least initially. JM has more than enough here to build this up, so he's gonna be on 2TC as well. But he's losing a lot. Rams are gonna attempt to do some stuff, but a lovely ghost build from JM is gonna prevent it completely. And oh, JM's back TC is complete, and actually that means that GrandMonster is gonna struggle a hell of a lot to get his own third up, as this one is gonna finish any moment now. Undermine has been cast incorrectly. You want to cast it right over here so that the closest object to hit is this tower. Then Undermine will start to travel in this exact direct line, killing all the towers in the way. In fact, you want to cast it exactly where my mouse is now, or rather here, and then it will kill everything. But for some reason he put it here. That was weird. Anyway, JM with the free TC population explosion now is gonna be able to handle this no problem. Resource-wise, he's even ahead in gold. He's got a little bit of extra wood as well. And he's going after the completely undefended hill force. There's no units here. A bunch of throwing axemen pop out, but these Oafsarks have so much armor. They're also Bragi Oafsarks, so they have a lot of extra hit points there. They're doing lovely damage against cavalry, so our Odin player doesn't have the option of making a bunch of yarns and kind of tanking that. Which is a normal thing you do when you get the Skadi mirror. But that's not the case here. JM also has access to flaming weapons, which he could activate any moment to really quickly get rid of all this. Score and time swap places in the UI. Yeah. It's fine, it's fine. This is totally readable. Although I personally would prefer the time up here or something. Or maybe here, I don't know. Somewhere close to where you look. Resource-wise, GrandMonster is getting ruined, man. He's got, like, nothing. He also doesn't have an ox cart here. All these villagers, these 10 villagers currently. Okay, he's making one, thankfully. But they've been spending so much time to just trying to drop off here. And now even they're going to lose all this wood that they're carrying as soon as they touch a farm. You definitely do want to drop that off first. It looks like this TC will finish finally. But, I mean, what's the cost? So much has died here, and JM is right on top of everything. The ballista isn't exactly secure, but he's got 4 fire giants. So, I mean, whatever goes to kill the ballista will have to kill that first. I would like to see a bunch of ramps from him, but like I'm not super sure he needs it, to be honest. Okay, that's a cool little wall. I don't know how that Oafsark got through. Is that a gap? Oh, that's a gap. I see. That's funny. This is even funnier. Build a base in his base. There you go. Oh my god, JM is so aggressive. This is so old school. I love it. These are entertaining to watch. Even though they're not the strongest thing in the current meta, these are probably the most fun to watch type of games. We didn't talk about the relics, so we had the Dwarven Calipiers, which are making siege weapons more cheap. But meanwhile, Flaming Weapon gets countered by Frost. Great move by GrandMonster. That's probably going to give him enough time to somewhat recover, I guess. Maybe. Meanwhile, JM is building on top of the gold mines of GrandMonster. And he's got a bunch of Flaming Weapons Oafsarks here with nearly 25 damage. This is insane. There's not a whole lot he can do about that. I mean, you need a bunch of towers to secure gold mines, and this caravan is going to be intercepted to trying to go for the short route. You got the armor of Achilles that could have been picked up by either player. Obviously, infantry hack armor is amazing in Norse Wars. Guess what does hack damage? Everything. JM does not seem rusty. Rich is most correct there in the chat. The thing is, JM had some practice yesterday, so basically 5 games equals JM is not rusty. This guy is so good. And he's a little bit broke, but he's fine. He's got the income to sustain his production, but he needs to swap to some wood soon. He's got all this extra food, so I guess he could just garrison all these and replenish the farms with the other TCs. Also, this has started production just a while ago, and he's grabbing some more gold. I think he's gonna be fine. GrandMonster is actually at the risk of losing his entire base. Man, I'm so happy we chose this to start with. I do not do AoE 2 tournaments. In fact, I only played like, what, 20 games of Age of Empires 2 in my life. Most of it was lately as well. Maybe it's 30, but yeah, something like that. I might pick it up more if they change the maps a bit. Oh, he's going all in with the Ragnarok. That is such a ballsy move. Wow. This is gonna be cool. So GrandMonster is having a lot of problems maintaining his population. He's got enough gold income, but he doesn't have the wood income, and his villagers are stuck here. JM's buildings start wreaking havoc just by existing. And once it's cleared out, he'll have all these idols. He'll have to counter with his own Ragnarok, and then GrandMonster is going to be out of money, whereas JM is going to be able to make a market, no problem, I would say. As long as he avoids this tower forest over here, everything's gonna be fine. Here come the Ragnarok heroes. There's 35. How many of them are the total? There's 42 for JM, 36 for GrandMonster. But a lot of houses have been already killed for GrandMonster, so he's on a 140 population limit, which means he didn't have all the military units that he could have had. And meanwhile, he'll also lose the TC, he'll probably lose a few more houses, and killing the temples will also mean that the enormous favor amount that's going to be stockpiled in a second is not going to be spendable. GrandMonster is also completely broke with just a few caravans left. JM should take this win. And yes, the stream is heavily delayed in order to maintain the integrity of the tournament. We don't want anyone stream cheating and finding sneaky side builds and stuff. We want it to be as fair as possible. I don't see a way back from this for GrandMonster. Looks like JM is going to pull back his Fire Giants to get a juicy hit on those throwing axemen. That was great. But yeah, he has to pull back for a moment. Oh, he has to be careful not to expose his ballista like that. You gotta send them separately, because the auto formation puts them at the back. Ouch! Yeah, that's not good. Actually, both players are so broke right now. They can barely make units, but GrandMonster went into this thinking he can possibly win this. However, there were 3 Fire Giants waiting to throw their fire at this group, and now they're dead. GG is called. JM takes game 1 very convincingly. One thing I want to see though is the post-game stats. So there were a lot more kills for JM. Not a crazy amount, but a lot more still. It matters if it's expensive units. A little bit of an Ulfsark spam going on. Fire Giant cut heavily in favor for JM, which obviously makes his overall trades way better. And we can see how broke they were here. It's not quite normal to spend your Ragnarok before you have a better eco. So let's get these guys invited. JM and GM. Okay, we're hopping into game 2 here. I actually need to edit the score of JM, who is won game 1. That makes GrandMonster the guy who has to win 2 in a row in order to move on in the single elimination bracket. He's playing Odin again here in the red. We got a very, very similar map besides the town centers. And actually, what the hell is this with the relic spawns? JM has both. Anyway, they're doing a very similar build to what they did previously, but this SimCity is significantly better for GrandMonster than it was beforehand, so that's great to see. And JM's Ulfsarks are all over the place. Whoa, GrandMonster finds one! Is he gonna go Freya this time? It looks like not. I think he likes the super towers that he can get this way. JM going Bragi again for the aggression. And he's gonna have a side build on near both the TCs actually, and oh my god, he's got 4 Ulfsarks. That's crazy. GrandMonster not starting the production yet on these longhouses. Oh my goodness, that's so bad. Uh-oh, he's missing out on like 20 seconds of production time. That's gonna be a town center that's 20 seconds late. So that's definitely something that JM can capitalize on, and meanwhile he's making a bunch of Hersiers from the temple, it looks like, which are being rallied to the settlement. Now, Hersiers build a little bit faster on the town center than Ulfsarks do. They are less nerfed by the Deathmatch unlock technology, basically. So Ulfsarks build town centers at half speed, Hersiers and Ragnarok heroes at 75% speed. And of course the same applies to throwing axemen and other infantry units as the Ulfsarks. So this is going to be still a 2-minute town center. This could have been a 1:55 one or something like that, or maybe even less. But yeah, he's produced 27, so that's why This was so quick. Which is pretty impressive. I mean, that was a long delay there at the start, and you would have thought that that wouldn't have happened. We got some complaints that the maps are not on the bracket. Okay, let me check. Oh, I haven't clicked start the tournament. We got a forest fire here, and JM is starting up his tower spam. Meanwhile, actually, GrandMonster has broken through here. He's gonna deny a town center, and on the other side, he can see what's happening over here. Thanks to the Ravens. And yeah, these Wolfstarks can do a lot of damage now, especially as he's on 2 TC. And he can also fight on the front, I think, but it's gonna be difficult. He's got the Heimdall watchtowers, but these Wolfstarks have a lot more health than the Odin ones. Yeah, look, 123 hit points versus 136. And better armor, and better attack. So yeah, this is a bit rough for GrandMonster, but he does have more population. JM seems to be manually queuing everything, by the way. He's not using any form of auto queue so far. Even on the back barracks, even on the workers. Wow. I would like to see a bunch of extra buildings from him, though. He's only starting his first hill forts now. What, Mergas was a deathmatch player? Dude, you gotta join us in the deathmatch Discord. Holy shit. It would be great to have you playing DM again, especially since you were a high-level player back in the day. Things are not so competitive now, but we're trying to keep things alive. I mean, I'm probably gonna host another one next week. I think these small prizes are fine. Like, I could just do these $30 or $25 tournaments every week, actually. There's no reason not to. You guys seem to like watching it. This town center steal is so sick. Meanwhile, JM is pushing in with the flaming weapons. He's gonna pick off a bunch of ballista, and is that a misplaced frost? Oh, it's gonna leave these guys alone, and oh my god, that's the worst frost ever. Poor GrandMonster didn't get what he wanted there. Big rip. JM also finished the side TC, so 3-2 TCs now. Economies are still going to be stable at this phase of the game. At around 9 minutes is when things start breaking down a bit. The one ballista should be enough to deny this TC. Also, the flaming weapons, you don't want to use that for building stuff. It's not going to help. Rams are gonna kill everything here, probably. There's a lot of Wolfstarks to go with it, so Dwarves trying to counter that is not gonna quite work out. What? We got a super early Ragnarok! This is crazy. JM just breaking out this super weird playstyle. What? 6-minute Ragnarok? Are you kidding me, dude? Like, he doesn't even have a lot of villagers. He just got 80 Ragnarok heroes now. It's gonna save his butt. I mean, these ramps are gonna die, but is GrandMonster actually trading better now? I think he is. I think he's got a lot of kills from this 160 to 130, and now all of a sudden he's gonna have all this economy, all this idols, I guess. But I mean, he's killed a bunch of houses. He's forced a Ragnarok. I'd trade a bunch of ramps for that. And this town center is also not going to finish as 2 ballista, 3 ballista focus it down. The fire giants are killing the longhouse, so these units will get some surface area to fight on. And these throwing axemen will form a really nice concave here. JM will not get a third TC. And there's a lot of Ovsarks back here to help secure this area. They're going to make a bunch of extra towers. Everything's super safe. Only this area is a slight risk. And you know what? GrandMonster could do a Ragnarok of his own, beat this back. But he's kind of broke. He actually needs the gold. Looks like the fire giants may have been lost more than I saw. Oh my god, his ballista are exposed. He's gonna lose all of them. No. No. Poor GrandMonster. I wanted to see game 3, to be completely honest with you guys. No bias here. Just want game 3. So these guys did some raiding damage, but not too much. Where's the gold miners? Over here. It looks like the fire giants of JM have noticed. He's trying to get on top of this. He's gonna definitely kill the ox guard and a bunch of the dwarfs. So that's not bad. And, you know, GrandMonster's kind of... That's why he's broke. Okay, he's gonna go into the main right now. There's a bunch of heroes there to try and defend this. He needs to stop this auto queue on the rams. I was wondering where all the money went. It's a bit too early to be completely broke. Look at JM's economy. I mean, he Ragnaroked. Lost a ton of stuff. Lost a ton of units, buildings. The worker damage from Ragnarok. And he's still fine. He's playing so well. I'm really proud of JM's comeback. He's performing way beyond expectations, I believe. This TC is also going to stay up. He's got more units back at home than it looked like for a moment. That's correct, Hagrid. You can pick absolutely everything you want. Besides the map, that's always up to the losing party. And that map can be anything as well. It can have been played... You name it, bro. This is a very free tournament in that sense. But GrandMonster is struggling. He can't maintain his population. JM is on 120 pop, gonna make a ton of houses. And once he remakes his houses, he's gonna have 140 pop. So with that, he should be able to end this game as well. With GrandMonster just not having much left. Oh my god, he's still got his villagers garrison from that earlier raid. JM getting monster value out of this. But now with 25 workers on gold, actually that could be a comeback moment for GrandMonster. Finally remembers his workers. Jeez. Another attempt at ramming. But now he's broke when it comes to wood. And he's still got a lot of idols. I'm not sure if he's got the idol banner turned on, or GrandMonster might just be very, very rusty. He definitely isn't playing at his full potential right now, but maybe next time he will. As JM is just pushing him back on every side, even though he's got less population. He's got enough fire giants to secure this area, and he'll get the third TC. And from there, he should be more than fine, economically speaking. He's broke on food, but that's fine, as he's just making like 20 farms. It's 14 actually, but that's enough. Okay, this fire giant could actually slow that TC down significantly, and there's a lot of Hersiers. Am I misinterpreting this situation, maybe? I think I gave JM too much credit there. The Hersiers are currently not fighting the fire giants though, so I'm not sure they matter all that much. One Jarl is helping out. Okay, actually JM lost his grip on this area. That's interesting. Meanwhile, GrandMonster is gonna be forced back into the TC with a bunch of the dwarves. But he's got sort of enough out there. For a while at least. Not that JM's economy isn't balanced enough or anything. But he's just fighting uphill against the bigger army, so that's rough. Imagine if these units joined that as well. Trade has started up. Again, a very, very wonky position there. More workers being made by GrandMonster. What has changed on the new patch? So basically, ever since the new patch hit on the extended edition, we've got things like training time reduction, increase for mercs. So if you haven't played that kind of version on the balance mod, you'll have missed that, which means that mercenaries now produce in 2 and 3 seconds respectively, cavalry being the slower one. That makes it so that mercenary rushes are kind of delayed, so the full amount of mercenaries will cut into your worker production actually. Norse have gotten a buff on the rams, which is pretty important. So they have 10% hack armor now as opposed to 5, which makes them way more durable. What else has there been very important? Probably not that much. You have seen most things on the balance mod already. Gaia Lush reaches further, I guess. So Gaia is a bit more playable. She also had her building regeneration buffed to like triple. So they regenerate like 3 hit points per second, which is pretty useful. Tower limit is 16. Towers and walls have been nerfed. So watchtowers are the same, but ballista towers and guard towers got a nerf. And the higher tiers of walls also got a nerf. North walls were left alone. I think stone wall wasn't changed, but fortified walls were. Meanwhile, JM's gonna stabilize again somehow and regain his 3rd TC. And now he can stabilize his economy slowly. He needs a bunch of more people on wood. Sorry, food. He's actually got enough on wood. He doesn't spend that much. Now that he's 160 population, he should be able to do some more work. He's trying to make some towers in this trade route, which is really, really good. The relics were the head of Orpheus and Tail of Cerberus. Neither player has picked them up, even though the Tail of Cerberus is particularly useful for fire giants. Can be a real difference maker. Got a hill fort here. I'd like to see JM make a bunch of Jarls. It would help so much with those fire giants. But I'm not sure he's planning to. He might be making this for Ballista. It's funny how good throwing axemen can be against Jarls when you have this many. The Jarls just don't have that amazing of an armor. Then again, if you clump them up and they get hit by the fire giants, that can hurt a lot. JM should absolutely add in a few Ozarks. It doesn't cost that much. And they are a pretty good counter to Jarls. And then the throwing axemen can focus on the other throwing axemen, which is just a way better way to do this. Oof, that's a lot of idols. GrandMonster needs to fix this. He could just put them on wood, to be fair. Sure. That's a really quick solution to the problem. Towers have been denied here, and more throwing axemen are rallying in to help out there. We got a forfeit, okay. So Hagrid advances because of that. What's his problem? Why would he forfeit? Oh well. Anyways, we're gonna advance Hagrid then. And yeah, feel free to schedule Hagrid. Go ahead. See if we've got any other scores reported. Looks like no, not so far. Did GrandMonster convert all of these villagers back here? Oh no, he's I'm not so sure actually. Why did he make so many units? I guess JM was trying very hard to make a big wave of towers there or something. Or a forest rather. JM's still building from very, very far away. I would like to see him utilize these buildings a bit more. The ballista spam is getting real though, and it's tearing these units a new one. GrandMonster with the Ragnarok, okay. Now he's saved up for a long, long time, and now he's got 71 Ragnarok heroes. He could totally turn the tide here. But unfortunately, he's also losing a lot of his units. But then again, this will be cleared out, no doubt. Especially the ballista are so exposed here. JM, fortunately enough for himself, doesn't have any fire giants right now, but he needs to make a lot of Ulfsarks in order to hold this. That's probably his best option right now. Maybe along with a bunch of throwing axemen too. He doesn't have a lot of towers here. These ballista can just be put on that TC. But does GrandMonster have any resources? Once this is beaten back, he's completely out of economy. He's just got a tiny minuscule trade. And then that's it. It's just 13 cards. Like, JM has a significantly bigger, better economy. And it's stable, so he's gonna be able to keep this up a lot longer than GrandMonster is. He's already taken care of like 50 population of this. If he steps back here and produces some more throwing axemen, he should be fine. He's got a bunch of dwarves here. I don't think he can convert them to offside. Oh, he's actually down to 100 population. What is going on? Where is his gold income gone? Both gold mines seems to have expired right as this was happening. So actually, GrandMonster, if he sells a bit of gold, he should be able to pick this TC up, and then he'd be 4 to 2 TCs. That is insane. JM just losing more and more units, and a lot of his economy is right here. It's 8 dwarves right there. So if that gets pushed back, he'll have so much trouble to get enough to support his production. But GrandMonster is just so indecisive. I'm not sure where he's going with this. He has so much gold. He could sell just a little bit, build a bunch of towers, and start taking this town center. But he's playing it too slowly, and he's giving JM the time to recover. He's almost at full pop now, and GrandMonster's economy is still nowhere to be seen. So, yeah, unfortunately, he's not using dwarves to replenish everything. He's using food, which he doesn't have. So he's gonna have a lot of idle town center time here. He's trying to claim the TC now, but there's 2 fire giants that will help deny it. The ballista are also having a very difficult time to try and hit these units as they move. And yeah, the Ragnarok heroes just can't take on that many throwing axemen. That's why he needed the towers so badly. JM once again pouncing back, and he's gonna be able to make stuff happen now with 2 towers here, helping out. It's right in the trade here, so he can cause a lot of economic damage. One of the ballistas dies as well. I don't think the 3 towers are quite enough to beat this back, but with the units together and the barracks, the longhouses rather, maybe that's enough. JM is stabilizing his economy. And yeah, if GrandMonster actually goes for this fight right now in such a bad formation as well, you know, he's just gonna lose some extra units. very troublesome for him. Both players playing it very, very carefully at this point, but JM is still right in the middle of all this. And he's just killing more and more of the trade. A lot of them are going idle right now, which is really good damage. Again, they're moving in a line, just one by one. The throwing axemen get their hits in. These are chasing the fire giants. That's totally not where they want to be. Even though they're getting nice around on the axemen are high in number now, and they can even take the Jarls, no problem. This might not be an efficient fight for JM, but it's almost as good as it could have possibly been. And he's doing a whole lot more damage than he's taking. Look at this population of GrandMonster. He cannot replenish this. This is all he's got. It may look big, because his entire army used to be all his population, but that's gone now. He's making a Huskar. Why? I'd like to see a bunch of Ovsarks actually with this. Jarls are going right on top of the fire giants, and GrandMonster still below 100 population. He cannot possibly come back from this, I don't think. JM making a bunch of extra towers. Holy shit, that's 30 Ovsarks that he just made almost. Forcing GrandMonster to also delete his trade. Where is his market? Does he even have one? I don't think so. This could be the end. 85 population now to 140. JM could decide to do several things. He could take the TC. He could just wall up the map. He could go after the workers again with the Ovsarks. But yeah, he's just gonna say, I'm gonna claim this map piece here. How is he still in this game? Man, if JM knew how far ahead he is. Still no gold for GrandMonster, that's so sad. He's remade the market, but here come the 20 Ovsarks. Right on top of the workers. And double heal fort and temple and whatever. Not double, but single, I guess. If GrandMonster even tries to walk over there, everything will be dead by the time they reach it. Everything is getting garrisoned into the TC, so that's getting some nice arrow damage now. JM attacking the farms. You know, he could take this meme to the next level if he brought over like 5 villagers and just deleted all the farms. Oh my god, he's getting right on top of the caravans. Ovsarks are being microed pretty nicely on the weak ones, and that's gonna be the last drop. GrandMonster is out, but he's had a valiant fight here. Really entertaining game at the start, especially with swapping the sides. That's not how they normally go. Anyways, we're gonna jump into our next game. Pretty even towards the end there. Like, JM was very, very, very careful to not mess up.